Information is power when you are on the roadway, especially when you are towing 20,000 plus pounds like we are in our setup. I've got a Ford pickup truck, Super Duty dually, and I have a 36-foot RV, and total combined length is 65 feet. That's a lot of surface area, a lot of attack surface area, a lot of problem area for things to go wrong. In addition to being 65 feet long, I've got 2 axles on the trailer, so there's 4 tires there. I've got dually in the rear, so there's 4 tires there. And I've got 2 more tires up front. So we've got 6 tires on the truck, 4 tires on the trailer. That's 10 tires total. Again, that's a lot of attack surface for problems to happen. And imagine if I ran into a road hazard on the passenger side of the car that wiped out all of those tires on the passenger side. That would be a problem. The other day we were traveling down the road, and it was a particularly bad stretch of road to the point where I thought I had a flat tire, and I did not have a tire pressure management system installed, and I'm trying to figure out what to do about this. We pulled over on an exit ramp, everything was fine. The road really was just that bad that it just felt like I had a flat tire on the trailer. And the driver's side tires I can actually see in my side view mirrors. The passenger side tires I can't see unless I make a right-hand turn in order to get that angle just right to see those tires. So a heads-up display of what's going on with the tires, if all 4 of them had shown perfect tire pressure, would have been just fine. And we work from the road, so of course, you know, when something like this happens, my wife's in the passenger seat taking a job interview phone call. Things never go sideways during absolutely perfect conditions where everything is safe and easy and happy. Like the last time when I dipped the front tire of the truck off of the shoulder and miraculously right onto a large spike that somebody had dropped behind and lost the front tire off the truck while towing the trailer on a 2-lane, no-shoulder backcountry highway, and also found out I had no jack. So check on that stuff too. We're gonna get a lot of this stuff solved. I already got the jack problem solved. I already got new tires on the truck from that. I replaced the spare while I was at it because I'm kind of a safety kind of guy. Now we're gonna get the tire pressure management system. And this one here comes from HALOVIEW. And as you can see on the back side, it's got you covered with everything. It's got a nice display up front here that goes on your dashboard. It is wireless, so it's going to be a relatively easy install. However, one of the obstacles that I have, kind of already mentioned it, 36-foot trailer. The back bumper on the trailer is greater than 30 feet away, which starts to get you into signaling problems. So I also got an extension antenna. I'll show you what all comes in the kit so that you're not caught off guard when you are ready to get yours. I'm gonna get it all laid out on the table. I'll be right back and show you what we got going on. Right here, you've got a bracket that goes on your rear license plate to hold one of your cameras and the associated mounting screws that you would use to connect the camera to the mounting plate. And then this is just your regular license plate bolts. And then we have the extra camera kit. You have the camera itself. You've got some screws to go along with that. You've got some adapter mounts. You can mount this directly to the RV yourself, and they give you a nice little gasket here to help you with waterproofing. The antenna comes with it and the power cable. You also get a user's manual with that. On the side of the camera, there is a port for an antenna, and you get this antenna here that you screw on, and then a right angle so that it can go upright for best possible signal strength. If you have a really long RV like I do, mine is 36 foot, this is a cable that will go from that antenna port on the camera over the roof to the front of the RV, and then this sticks on with some 3M VHB tape, and 3M VHB tape is amazing. This is what all the major auto manufacturers have been using to put on body panels and side moldings and so on cars for 20, 30 years now, at least that I know of. Super sticky stuff, and I've used the VHB tape to hold some solar panels down on the roof, and they've been just performing like a champ sticking up there. On top of that, you have another one of those antenna connections. So for me, this is going to go down the front side of the RV, or it's going to go right down the driver's side on the side of the RV so that this antenna can screw into it and stand up tall. And then of course, you want to have some preparation for the mounting of the 3M VHB tape, so they sent out along the cleaners. They thought of everything there, and because they thought of everything, they also included these guys here, which are some cable management straps to hold this down on your roof so it doesn't flap in the breeze. And then over here, we've got the big boy kit. We've got all the stuff that you need to finish out the rest of the job, and this kit here will actually get you handled for your typical shorter RVs. Again, mine is 36 foot, but this would work fine for the old 23-footer that we had. Let's take a look at what we got. They give you a bunch of accessories you need in order to get this thing all mounted and set up and tooled and so forth. You have a couple of signal boosters. One of these goes on the back axle on the trailer or on your motorhome. This one here would go up closer to the cab. So from your tire pressure monitoring system on your tires to the signal booster right at the axle, to the signal booster right by the cab, and then finally up to the display. There's some adapters here that you might need for your RV mounting system. There's a pairing cable here that will get you from the single power out from the cigarette lighter plug down here, and then this will plug into the display head and some other stuff along the way. It's nice that they include that Y cable for you. They give you some splicing connectors here, crimp-on splices. A couple of different mounting options. Again, 3M VHB if you want to put this as a permanent mount for the display inside the cab of your vehicle, or a suction mount if you wanted to mount it to the windshield. The display itself is 1024 by 600, which is actually fine in this size. On the back you have a little slide for where it mounts and the speaker grills to let the sounds out for the alerts. The 2 antennas for the monitors, the SD card, so you can probably do some dash cam type stuff to see what's going on around you. It comes with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So left side dual axle, right side dual axle, and rear tires on your car, or single axle on the trailer, back axle on the car, front axle on the car, or in my case, I had to actually get some extras. So this is the back dually axle on the driver's side, on the passenger side, front axle, and rear axle on the trailer. So I should have 1, 2, 3, 4 for the trailer, 1, 2, 3, 4 for the car, and then 2 extras for the 2 extra tires on the back of the truck. And then they give you all of the batteries to go with it. These are the 1632, so you'll be able to find those on Amazon pretty easily when they do finally give up the ghost. You get your 2 user's manual, one for the camera itself and one for the entire system for the installation and the syncing on the tire pressure monitoring system and all that kind of jazz. You can power the display from one of those USB power banks and carry this with you to each tire as you're doing the synchronization of the TPMS sensors. That way you don't have to worry about sitting in the cab and trying to figure out which sensor's which and so on. This is your backup camera that comes in this kit, and it's the exact same as the camera I just showed you. You get your antenna that plugs into the side, you get the camera with the mount, you get the DC power plug here, and the adapter to get you over to the Furrion system that most RVs have. You get some cleaning wipes to get everything prepped for your surface work in case you're doing the install, and then the gasket if you are not using the Furrion mount, and some adapters. This adapter here will go into the back of the camera there. Let me show you real quick. So it all depends on what you need. They got you covered with everything. And this camera here is a nice metal body camera, so it's going to survive the elements really well. You get a ton of gear with this stuff. In case it wasn't perfectly clear that I'm kind of an organizational freak from all the knolling that I did to get all of these parts out, one of the things that I'm also going to suggest is you get some way of carrying these things around so you don't lose them while you're doing the install. So I have, either these ammo boxes, which are pretty durable and reusable, or I'll just use like an Amazon Prime shipping box or something along those lines. And now I know that I'm not going to lose any of these parts. Especially little tiny stuff like this. I'd have to go buy another one. There was quite a lot of stuff in that kit, wasn't there? I'll give you some quick install tips. The camera that goes on the license plate frame on the back of your truck, you should wire that into your backup tail lights. And they make some crimp-on connectors, some vampire taps. They're not terribly waterproof, so you want to make sure you do a good water seal around those with some electrical water seal goo or some tape or something along those lines that's going to keep that stuff from getting wet in there and make it a more permanent install. By hooking it into your reverse lights, when your reverse lights come on, when you put your truck into reverse, it's going to turn that backup camera on and you'll see it pop up on your video display. Perfect. Goes right behind it. I mean, you can put it in front if you want, but I think it looks a little bit better behind. Get that other side lined up before we get too tight. And then just make sure that that antenna is out of the way of your tailgate. For the camera that goes on the back of the RV, a lot of RVs have Furrion compatible mounts. It's a black plastic shroud that is on the back of your RV that you do a little bit of unscrew magic. There's a wiring pigtail in there already, and then you can mount your camera onto it. This camera is not compatible with those. There are a lot of RVs that don't have those things, and maybe yours is one of those. Regardless of whether you have that mount or not, you can either remove the mount and put the camera where that mount used to be, or you can install the camera lower on the RV. It comes with its own shroud to keep the camera relatively dry. It is meant for outdoor use, but you don't want to go cleaning it every single time you move. You can put that underneath of one of your tail lights and wire it into your tail lights directly, so that way you have a more straight-on view as you're backing your RV up, as opposed to a view from up high looking down at the ground. Installing the tire pressure monitoring devices themselves on the tire is pretty slick. They have these little locking nuts that go behind the valve caps that do your tire pressure monitoring. Pull off the old valve stem cap, put that somewhere where it's not going to get away from you. And then there is a locking nut that goes on faster if you don't drop it. And put that all the way down, and then take your valve stem itself and put that on. And you are going to hear it let some air out, because that's how these things work. And then this little wrench here goes over the valve stem in the back, and now you can't get those off. However, what that's going to mean for you is that if you are trying to put some air in these things, then you got to unlock them all the time, which is why I'm not going to put them on there. But if you are in an area where you need that kind of security, then definitely take care of it. There's some tricky stuff about the install. Tricky is a strong word. There's some interesting stuff about the install that I want to go over with you. So I'll show you how to connect the valve stem caps to the screen so that you can read all of the tire pressure monitoring stuff. I have my portable USB power bank. So I'm going to plug these guys in, and up comes the screen. So there is a mock-up of the vehicle, and then what you do for your battery is you unscrew this cap, and there is room for the battery to go in there, and the minus side goes down. So the minus side is the side with the little checkered etch pattern, and it looks like it's inside of the case. So we put that on there, put that cap back on, and then you can very easily change those batteries without taking off the caps from the valve stems. So this is going to be this one here, and I'm going to try auto learn, and it's waiting. Put it back on, and then count to 15. Found it. Awesome. And these are 80 PSI cold tires, and it is reading 74.84. Perfect. When you first put the valve cap on, during the sync process, it's going to notice the current tire pressure and send that over. And because it's doing its sync process, it's going to think that that is the appropriate tire pressure that your tire should be at. So make sure you get your tires inflated to the proper PSI before you get started. And then when you screw on the cap and sync it to the system, it's going to automatically set your high and low pressure warning thresholds for you, which is really neat. So you don't have to worry about that kind of thing. If you want to set the high and low pressure thresholds, you can do that manually. And if you can't get it to auto sync, then you can also install these things manually. So that way you'll be able to just type in the code instead of having to wait for the sync. I like doing the auto sync method. It was a lot easier for me. The install itself looks really sharp in the dash of the vehicle. They give you two different display mounts. One is a self-adhesive that would stick to the dash, and the other one is a glass mount. I'm gonna try the glass mount. Let's see how well it works out. On the back of the display, there's a nice track here to hold the mount. And then you have your mount. Unscrew this a little bit to give it some wiggle room, and then you can slide that right in there. And then once it's slid in, tighten this down to maintain the angle that you want it to be for your display. So that mount isn't going anywhere. And then this is a little wing nut here, which will let you articulate in a variety of different directions to get you situated with a good viewing angle for the driver. And would install video would be complete without a peel. Okay, and there it is, a little bit of reflection off of the dashboard, but that's probably just the position that I'm sitting in. And then I have one of these power points here, and we plug that in. It's got a little on-off switch. So in my case, even with the ignition off, I still have power to my power point, so I can always turn it off manually with the big red button. And then I have a separate one down over here where I charge my cell phone, and then yet another one inside this center console somewhere. You can see that white wire poking out. So I got plenty of power up here to spare, so I'm not worried about inconveniencing anybody. Where is my plug? All right, it's starting its cycle. So it's gonna blink up here in the corner for whichever tire it is sensing at the moment, and it'll go through all of them and tell you what's going on. I've got it shown here on a bullet point mount. You can also mount it directly to the windscreen, or you can mount it directly to the dashboard. I will leave some links down in the description below where you can get all the stuff that I mentioned in the video, the HALOVIEW tire pressure management system and the backup cameras, the extra backup camera so that you can put it on the back of the RV or the back of the truck so you have 2 cameras. The entire tire pressure monitoring system is really slick. It handles a tractor trailer, so 2 steer tires, 2 drive tires, and a tag axle, 2 steer tires, 2 drive tires, 2 more drive tires, and then it handles up to 3 trailers, each of those trailers having 3 axles of their own. It is a large involved system, and it's a good thing that it comes with the range extenders, because that 3rd trailer all the way in the back is pretty far away from the receiver all the way in the cab. So be sure you check out those links in the description below. When you're way down there, there is a subscribe button. Subscribing's free. I'd love to have you on board for more videos like this. And there's a video right over here that I think you'd enjoy next. I'll see you over there.